Ooh, I need the heater. My mum said she's got a heater in the garage. I need to get it. See if that has any effect down here. Folks, how are we? Hope we've had a lovely weekend. My weekend was filled with a very important milestone in a new relationship. Meeting the new missus' friends. Tough one. Always is a tough one, but handled it well. It was good. Went down to Berkhamsted. If an Airbnb has got a wood burner, I'm sold. I'm in. I'm a cozy cottage bear at heart. I'm in my cottage era. I'm in my barn/cottage era. Long are the days of that insipid materialistic TM cycles. Someone said the other day about the Louis Vuitton. The Louis Vuitton sandals. Remember that? When my whole life was just based on what outrageous, expensive garment I could wear. Ugh. Needed though. Fun. Good era. But not one in which we want to spend for too long. Anyway, hope all is well. Disappointing Arsenal result this weekend. Ruining my weekends at the moment, the boys. Filled with injuries. It's not good. But I hope all is well. And in today's video, should have done this slightly earlier on in the year, I reckon. Should have done this like 1st or 2nd of Jan. But hey, listen, babe, I love you very much, but I'm filming right now. There we go, silent mode. Bush. Should have done this at the start of the year. It's my ins and outs, 2025 ins and outs. It's quite a common theme that you've probably been seeing on a lot of people's social media. And I think it's a good opportunity to dissect the self a little bit. Look how the year has gone. I think that should be a continuous element throughout the year. I think on a weekly or monthly basis, we should look back at our month or week and decide what's gone well, what hasn't gone well. But the new year is always a good opportunity to break down what areas you want to target. So I've got 3. I've got physical, I've got mental, and I've got environmental. Ins and outs. Starting with what's in from a physical standpoint. What is in? We've got prioritise no phone dog walk before work begins. That's a big one for me. If I wake up, do my red light, and I'll grab my coffee and jump straight on the laptop, I always feel like quite a big dip and crash around about 12:1 or the time that I'm getting ready to go to the gym. If I wake up, bit of red light, and then I take the dog out, and we've discussed before about the importance of light in the morning, even if it's a cloudy day, getting that lux in is key. So I really want to prioritise taking the dog for a nice walk, leaving the phone as well. It's a big one. Sometimes I go on my dog walks in the morning, I'm still looking at my phone. I want that period of relaxation. Obviously, I'm very grateful to be in the position that I can do these sort of things in, but I really want to prioritise a no phone dog walk. That's number 1 for me. Number 2, 3 runs per week. We are in an improvement phase. We're in a little bit of a push-up phase at the moment, and I want to condition the muscle that I'm gaining a little bit. I don't want to just be that typical sedentary off-season bodybuilder and not have any movement involved. I want 3 runs in, 3 easy runs. I think maybe a couple of 5Ks and a 10K, more than doable. Can always utilize the eat back method. So in this push-up phase, the amount of calories that I've expended during that run, eat back 90% of those, load up on some carbohydrates post. Happy days. Strength/hypertrophy training 4 times per week. I discussed before, post sprint try, I let things go a little bit. Even Josh mentioned the other day, he said, it's been like 15, 16 days, you're not been in the gym. Obviously, I was a little bit ill and I take some time away, but I lost my way a little bit. The last couple of weeks, there's been a big reignition of desire to train, and fell back in love with lifting again. Really excited to look at the logbook. So with my logbook, right, I used, that 4-in-1 pen. It's got like a red, a green, a blue, and a black. This is a good tip as well for those that are progressing, just so that you can highlight quickly what areas you may have held on, lost strength, or increased. I want greens across the board. So week 1 is obviously all black, setting some numbers, and then I want all greens across the board. So yeah, looking forward to really digging in to the block. 3 litres of water per day. I'm sure one that we can all agree on, man. My hydration, I'm decent in the first half of the morning, but then I slack. So I may purchase like a nice water bottle. I'm not going full Fiat 500 Molly May basic bitch Stanley. I can't do it to myself. but I'm going to invest in a nice water bottle to make sure that I'm getting those 3 litres in per day. And if you're bored of just water, then always go with electrolytes to zhuzh it up a little bit. And then the final one, track scale weight daily and ensure logbook is filled in prior to training. That's a big one. Always filling out the logbook. Now, the beauty of the logbook that we use is it's every 4 weeks. So you can write out your programming and then don't have to worry about it. You just go into the gym. But making sure that is set is key for me, and scale weight daily readings is a necessity. I want to be bang on that. I've set myself back up on OneFit. So I've kind of like enrolled myself as a client. And that way I can see where scale weight's going. In 12 weeks time, we can sit down and look how the off season has gone. So that's what's in. What's out? Use I Am Sober app to help quit vaping. Now, I've got to be honest. I caved. Where's it gone? I caved. I did well. I got better. Where's it gone? My missus was vaping. I thought, back in the end. I'm very disappointed in myself. As someone who considered themselves a disciplinarian, you know, these are bastards, mate. Huberman talked the other day about how these are more addictive and harder to quit than actual smoking. Not that I'm not going to start smoking, but I need to stop. That's a big one for me. I need to stop. And it's Monday today and I'm still doing it. And it's just, I'm annoyed at myself. I got a glimpse of myself in a vape shop on Saturday and I thought, what am I doing? It's got me in a chokehold. It really has. I'm struggling. So that's just a bit of accountability and openness and vulnerability. I've already failed. I've got to quit. So the I Am Sober app is a really good app. Mr. Kennedy, my housemate, he showed me the app, and he's obviously now 365 plus days no drinking alcohol. That looked chunky the other day when he put that up. A whole year no alcohol. I'm closing in on, my last drink was in May, and I didn't even want to drink, but I had to go to, where did we go? It was a beach club in Ibiza, and a minimum spend, and I thought the minimum spend was food, and they were like, nah. I thought, mate, I like my food, give me some food. So I had to get some alcohol. I had, what did I have? A couple of tequilas and pineapple, which seems to be okay for the gut, but I don't want any alcohol. May time that was, so Jan, Feb, March, April, May, got about 4 or 5 months to go before the 365 comes up with no alcohol. But yeah, very good app. Skipping post-workout meal and merging lunch and dinner. I'm notorious for doing that, especially if I train late afternoon. If I get back and it's like 3, I think, well, my next meal's at 6, I'm going to just load up. Usually the loading up of food then negates the impact of sleep, and my REM sleep's not as good. So making sure that during breakfast time, I'm just prepping a bit of chicken. So when I get back from the gym, all I need to do is put my rice on and it's there for me, ready to go. Running too fast during easy runs. This is a big one. I think a lot of people struggle as well, especially now that I'm prioritizing physique development again, making sure that I'm going nice and steady, nice and easy. For me, that's about a 6-minute K pace. That's a real easy conversational kind of tennis ball bounce pace for me. So making sure I'm not going too quick. And sometimes on my easy runs, you know, I'm 3K and I think I'm feeling fit, and then I go and slam the 2K. Need to get out of that headspace and that mindset. Rushing strength and hypertrophy sessions. Again, if I'm training later on in the day and I want to get back and my regular routine's creeping up, I tend to maybe like skip my arm volume or rush my rest times too much. And again, that impacts the back offset, making sure that my productivity is high in the morning so that I can get into the gym for about, I'd say 11:30, out by 1. That's a good day for me. And then paying for coffee daily. Stop paying for coffee daily. I've got myself some good coffee, grind coffee, saving some bucks. What's good about that I Am Sober app as well is it also shows and highlights how much money you've saved. Like for Josh, spending a lot of money per week on alcohol saved a considerable lump sum of money. So that's the physical out of the way. Up next, we've got mental. What's in? 5 acts of mindfulness per week, either journaling, meditation, or guided breath work. I say 5 because I think a lot of people, when they want to get into that kind of spirituality side of things, they feel, it's not even spirituality, it's just mindfulness side of things, right? They feel like they mount too much pressure on themselves. And this is more of a tip from Oliver Burkeman, the author of 5,000 Weeks and Meditations. I think being realistic, and this goes for sometimes my productivity, don't try and squeeze yourself into having to feel like you've got to do acts of mindfulness every single day and then you get disgruntled because you haven't done it. I think a more realistic approach, and you can build upon that, is saying to yourself, right, this week, 3 times, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'm going to either do journaling, I'm going to do some meditation, or I'm going to do some grounding, or whatever it is. And then what you can start to do is see the impact of what those holistic practices are doing, and then you might want to start to increase it. Take that 3 to 4, 4 to 5 as an example. So I've set myself 5 acts of mindfulness per week, either using the journal or using the Waking Up app or doing some grounding work. I don't mind the weird looks. Sometimes I whack the shoes off. I go to Norman's Park, I take the dog for a walk, and I've got my bare feet. It's lovely. It's nice. I like grounding. Second one, post-work week self-analysis. What could have been better? Now, what I love about Grace Beverley's productivity method is it gives you the opportunity to highlight how the week has gone and write down, did I not prioritize productivity too much, or were there areas that I could have filled in? Was I taking the piss a bit if I finished work at like 3? Could I have done some additional research or work until 5 p.m.? So that self-analysis, I think, is key and one that a lot of people should be looking to do. What's also out, saying yes to potential clients when they don't fit your requirements. We've spoken before about Kipchoge's interview with Dr. Ranjan Chatterjee about a vitamin N, learning to say no. I think that's a big, big one. It's a big point that comes up in a lot of podcasts with Gabor Mate and Mel Robbins as well. Learning to say no is key. It really, really is. And now we know the impact of trying to please everyone and what that can have on our mental and physical health. So for me, being able to say, unfortunately, mate, you don't really fit the bill. And I hold my hands up in the past, even the past couple of years where my coaching has taken a little bit of a change. There's been certain people I thought, I'm just going to get them on simply for the sake of numbers, and that's not a good environment. That's not a good business headspace to be in. So that's a big one for me. And then finally, comparing my socials, engagement, and running times to others. 2025 is the year we stay in our own lane, and that is our own. What? Must have been high when I wrote that. Doesn't make sense. Comparing my socials, engagement, and running times to others. 2025 is the year we stay in one lane, and that is our own. That was a good sentence. So I think I got into a habit, and living with a sub-3, 2 hour, 43 marathon runner, it's easy to look at the Strava sometimes and think, I should be going a little bit quicker. We're all our own islands. Yeah, we're all our own different journeys. There's no point me looking at the growth of someone on Instagram that has maybe spent more time in the space than me, or doing things slightly differently, or is more engaging. We are our own island, stay in our own lane. That's a big one for us. So that's mental out the way and done with. And then finally, environmental. What's in? I like reflecting on my phone here. Blocking/removing any accounts on Instagram that promote a negative emotional response. I've done that a lot towards the tail end of last year and into this year. Accounts that I'd look at, and straight away I'd get this negative response. I'd be annoyed in the way in which they're positioning themselves. And my missus made a good point, because I was going to do a video calling a few content creators out, and she was like, is Huberman doing this? Is Gabor doing this? And I thought, they're not. That's a good point. She was like, you don't need to do this. Stick within your own lane and just make sure that you're driving mass engagement and staying true to your own ideology. And I thought, that's a great point. Well done, Gil. So blocking, removing any accounts that promote or that give that negative response. I want to rid of that. Creativity hour. 60 minutes of either reading, creating, designing, or researching. This is something that I've been doing quite consistently in the start of the new year. And this can be as little as just researching what other accounts are doing and understanding where their kind of trajectory. I know that kind of goes against a little bit my previous point, but it's more so from a business standpoint, and just Austin Kleon, still like an artist, taking some ideas and then putting that into my own, and then having my Monday to Friday Instagram posts, doing a little bit of reading, doing some fiction or non-fictional reading, a little bit of research when it comes down to like my colitis as well. Kind of getting a few interviews lined up for doctors as well, which is like a big area that I want to start to highlight over the next few months. So that's one for me there. Reading books or watching podcasts that support your goals and vision. Again, super simple, super easy. I'm a big fan of Gabor, as you know, Joe Dispenza, Eckhart, Huberman. Surrounding myself with individuals that are going to amplify me, and not being too concerned about, as I mentioned before, those that ignite that negative stress response. We don't want any of that. Follow more accounts that inspire you. I don't know why, I've always been a little bit reluctant to follow people, but I need to be more open to the idea of following people. You know what it is? It's OCD. I like the ratio of my followers to non-followers. Weird, I know. Maybe some people are also in the same boat, but I need to follow more people that inspire me. I did a really nice post just to highlight the people that inspired me over the 2025. Ollie Marchon, Fergus, Collard, all these people that I take massive inspiration from and still continue to do so. They're always giving me ideas and motivation to better myself, and that's what we want. So following more of those accounts. And then finally, for what's in, comment, engage more with accounts you follow. I don't do that enough. And obviously from an algorithmic standpoint, social media channels and networks like Instagram, they promote and they give you a little bit of a bump if you are commenting and engaging with other audience, and that's what it should be. For some reason, when Instagram first started, it was just pictures and that was it. There was no reels. I was engaging in a lot more with people, but as time went on, I always thought, I feel a bit weird. I feel a bit weird commenting on someone's post. Don't know why. That needs to be scrapped, and I need to be more open to engagement with accounts that I follow. And then finally, for environmental, what is out? Ignoring how surroundings affect your mindset. I think in order for you to achieve that mindset, you need to be quite self-aware. I think a lot of us, we overlook how our environment, our work colleagues, our friends, social media accounts that we follow, gym settings, I think more often than not, we have a tendency to ignore how the impact of that can be affecting our drive and our vision and our goal. So being self-aware to be able to be tough on yourself and be quite harsh. And, I'm 30 odd now, and there are going to be occasions where maybe friends may not be, I don't want to sound like some wanky business guru or like a Tate type here, but there is going to come a point in life where I think you have to be aware enough to go, okay, it is me continually showing up and giving my time to someone that isn't giving their time back to me. I think it's important that you highlight that. And it is tough sometimes. You may, during your process of discovery and learning about yourself, you may find that certain people in your life aren't maybe serving you, or even certain relationships. You may think, gosh, I don't know if we align anymore. I don't know if we still have that same sort of spark as we had before, or are we on the same sort of trajectory? And sometimes you have to be fairly harsh and cruel and go, you know what, this particular relationship, friendship isn't serving me, this particular environment. I know it's easier said than done, but when it comes down to work, you have to look at your work and go, I have this goal, and is this current work serving me? Okay, no, it's not, but I can't quit right now. What can I do to build up this side profile, this side hustle, to the point whereby, you know what, I can say bye-bye to that piece of work that I'm doing right now. So I think that's a big one. Consuming content that triggers comparison. I do that, and that kind of feeds into the previous point, but I've done that before. I maybe get a little disgruntled and think, my growth on Instagram and YouTube has been quite slow, and I look at certain people that have blown up, and then I get really disheartened with that, and that's not good. As I mentioned before, we've got to stay in our own lane. Engagement following is still growing. It's growing at a slow rate. It has the impact of me speaking previously about steroids and my bans and blocks on YouTube impacted my growth potentially, but look, that's the card we've been dealt with, and I've just got to continue to make inspiring, motivational, engaging content, and that's what I'll be doing this year. And the final point for environmental, creating for the sake of creating. Don't be enslaved by the algorithm. And that's one that was tough for me, because I wanted to increase the frequency of content both on YouTube and also on Instagram. I think it's very hard as a creator when you do say to yourself, right, I'm going to increase my frequency, to then just chuck in loads of filler shit. When I sit down on a Sunday and I do my YouTube and Instagram posting, I'm sitting there and I'm saying to myself, what content do I want to create, and what content do I think that people are going to respond well to and find inspiring and engaging? It's very, very important to do that. So having a plan and structure in place for when you are increasing the frequency of your content is key. I've highlighted on my, I think it was an Instagram post that I did recently, which was like this was it. It was an algorithm whore. Stop trying to go viral. And on this, I gave a breakdown of why is it not showing? It's not showing. But I gave an example Monday to Friday of what sort of content that you could do. And I've spoken before about how I think content within the fitness space has just become, here we go, completely soulless. But as an example, posting Monday, motivation, Monday, a reel using speech and audio. Tuesday, a full day of eating, carousel or reel. Wednesday, talking head reel on a topic when it comes down to fitness. Thursday, educational carousel on training supplementation or food. Friday, get ready with me, gym edition. Saturday, morning routine. Sunday, a week or weekend photo dump. So it's about layering. It's about creating that relatability. People want to know about you, what clothes you wear, what music you listen to. But it's also about creating a story. You know, where are you taking your physique goals? Alongside that, providing a little bit of education as well. So layering that content in, I think, is key. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is my 2025 ins and outs. Tell me, what's yours? I want to know what people's ins and outs are. I'm sure many are also in the vape trap as similar to me. So we got to get rid of this. That's my number one goal. I've got to get rid of it. But yeah, that is me done and dusted, ladies and gents. Hope you all had a lovely weekend. Enjoy the start of the week. Happy Monday to you. Speak to you very soon. Thank you. Good night and much love.